Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the 5 things that I don't exactly like about the all-new 2022 Toyota 86. Before getting into the video though, as always, if you can save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Now, number 1 is the fact that this car is still kind of slow. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for saying this from BRZ and 86 owners, but yeah, the car, frankly, is still not fast. I literally can go full throttle in this car with my wife, and she doesn't get annoyed, which means that it's not quick enough. If your wife doesn't get annoyed, your car is slow. That's just literally a measure of speed with a vehicle. But seriously, they stuck with a naturally aspirated engine for this car. It has a 2.4 liter flat 4-cylinder paired to a 6-speed manual transmission. With this car, you can also get it with an automatic. And in either route, it just isn't quick. Now, yes, this car is lightweight and it's a blast to drive. I absolutely love the driving dynamics with the car, but I do think that Toyota and Subaru should have put Subaru's turbocharged version of this 2.4 liter flat 4-cylinder, because it would have actually given the car just that extra level of excitement that it just really needs to just, in my opinion, be exciting enough for today's world with all of the different cars that we can choose from. And so yeah, that's my first point, is that despite the fact that this has amazing driving dynamics, it's still slow. Number 2 is seat comfort. Now, this one actually surprised me quite a bit, because I feel like Toyota and Subaru are actually pretty good at making seats that are comfortable in their vehicles, but not this one. So there is no lumbar support, and you guys can see it's got these cool bucket seats which hold you in place really well. But just because of how the padding is here, and just because of how the seat is angled right there, it is extremely uncomfortable. And after about 20 miles in the car, I frankly want to get out, because my back starts to feel like, not really a fan of this. And again, I'm 24 years old, so it's not like I'm a 50-year-old man with back issues or anything like that. Like, I'm completely fine, but yeah, definitely an issue. So I think that if they added like a lumbar function to this, or just slightly changed just that center portion of the seat, just how that's shaped. I understand that it might not be as practical in terms of like holding in place around corners, but it would help out with daily drivability, because yeah, seat comfort's not great. Now, number 3 is the back seats. Now, this is something that I just don't understand, and that's the fact that this car still has back seats, because they're pretty much unusable in terms of putting people back there. They're basically just storage space, and I think that they could just do like a hatch with this car instead of a trunk, and just have like a really big hatch storage space instead of these back seats, because I mean, you basically can't have legs to be able to fit back there. And I know a lot of people are going to comment, oh well, it's because it makes insurance less on this car, and I'm going to call BS on that, because I have owned a lot of cars, and I can tell you, having a car that has just 2 seats versus 4 seats doesn't affect insurance premiums. At least with my insurance place, it doesn't affect the premiums whatsoever. It's more about how many miles I'm going to drive per year, my driving record, and then more so, what is the car, right? And so if this car just had 2 seats, I don't think it would have a higher insurance premium on it. I think that it would just make more sense with the car, instead of having these completely unusable back seats that frankly add weight to the car. If they took away the back seats, then they could actually get the weight on this car down even more, which would frankly help out the driving dynamics even more. Now, number 4 is the automatic transmission. So this particular one is a manual, but I have driven an automatic 86 as well. You guys can check my main channel where I have a review of this, and then I also have a review of an automatic 86. And I'm just going to say this right now, the automatic is complete garbage. Like, I don't care what sort of like press stuff there is out in the world from Subaru and from Toyota on how the transmission is sporty and all that kind of stuff. It just isn't. The manual is the only way to go in this car, and I wish that they would offer an automatic that was actually sporty, because Toyota sells the Supra with obviously a ZF 8-speed automatic, because the Supra is shared with the BMW Z4 from a platform perspective. But like, yeah, I don't know. If the Supra could have a good automatic, I think that this should also have a good automatic transmission, especially considering a lot of other vehicles in this segment for their automatics will have like a dual clutch or something like that. I mean, look at like Volkswagen, for example. And so I think that they could actually sell more cars if they just gave this a better automatic transmission than what it has. Now, the 5th and final thing is the gearing feel. Now, this is kind of an interesting one. So if you guys watched my review on this on the main channel, then you guys probably noticed that the gears are pretty long, and I kind of mentioned that in the video. And again, this is with the manual transmission, because this has the 6-speed manual transmission. And here's the deal, is it's not too bad from a daily driver perspective, But when you want to do any sort of performance driving, unless you have quite a bit of space, the car feels, again, with the first point, it feels kind of slow because it takes forever to get up to redline. When you're in like second gear, like most of the performance cars that I've driven with manual transmission, if I'm in second gear and punch it, like I'm going fast. But in this car, when I'm in second gear, it's at such low RPMs that it doesn't go anywhere. And obviously you don't want to shift into first gear while you're still moving because that just doesn't make sense. And so, yeah, the gearing I'm sure is wonderful for racetrack use. And I'm guessing that's why they have the gearing the way that they have it with this car, you know, in terms of how the engine is set up with how it delivers power and everything. And it seems like most journalists have only driven this on the track. And so I guess it makes sense, right? But like in terms of like real world driving, when you're just doing fun driving up and down canyons or just daily driving, it's kind of annoying. If this car had a lot more power, then it wouldn't be a problem that it is at super low RPMs with the gearing. If this was turbocharged, it would completely fix this issue. So Toyota, Subaru, if you're watching this, throw a turbo in this car and the gearing situation won't be an issue anymore. That's going to sum things up for our video on the 5 things that I don't exactly like about the new Toyota 86. And with that being said, I'll see all of you in that next video.